What is up, my friend? It's awesome to see you. You're looking good.
Very yummy.
So today we're going to be talking about one of the oldest cocktails, the Old Fashioned. So the Old Fashioned comes from the original definition of a cocktail, which was a mixture of spirits, sugars, bitter, and water. Nowadays things are a little bit different, but that was actually coined in 1806. Wow. So we've come a long way from our original cocktails, but enough talking about it, let's get to drinking. So, if you ask 100 different people how you make an old fashioned, odds are you're probably going to get 100 different answers. This is the way I make my old fashioned. There's not really a wrong way to make it unless you make it the Wisconsin way. But I've made this specific old fashioned for loads of people and get nothing but raving reviews. So, the first question for an old fashioned is, what type of whiskey would you like? I like using rye, and rye is the traditional whiskey that's used because of the fact, personally, I love the spice notes that ryes bring to an old fashioned. The old fashioned has sugar added to it, so we don't need something as sweet and corny as bourbon, and I just love rye. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So we're going to go ahead and start off with a heaping bar spoon of sugar. Next, I like to hit it with 4 dashes of Angostura bitters. Next, I like to hit it with the smallest splash of water. There we go. It's not even a bar spoon. And let's start stirring it. You really want to make sure you are grabbing all those little sugar granules and giving it a good stir so you start dissolving it. Let's go ahead and hit it with our rye. I like my old fashions a little bit stronger than most, so I hit it with 2.5 ounces of rye. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and stir it again. You want to stir it for about another 15-20 seconds. Nice. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab an orange peel. Try to get a nice, big, thicker piece.
That's what she said. Don't you dare.
In one go. For being extra, we're going to go ahead and grab a match, and we're going to expel the oils onto our match into our glass. Our nice little roasted orange note. Go ahead and stir that with the orange peel for another 15 or so seconds. Then we're going to go ahead and grab our ice. Stir that for the final stir.
You have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get it.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and taste it. On the nose, definitely those beautiful notes of orange. It's almost like a fruit cake, I would say, because you get like orange and kind of dried fruits, and you get a nice bit of the spice notes. You can almost smell the sweetness. The Angostura adds loads of complexity to it. So let's taste it.
Oh, wow.
That is good. You cannot go wrong with an old fashioned. If you have any of these ingredients, even if you just gotta go get some bitters or something, bitters will last you a very long time, and an orange, you can just eat the rest. But delicious classic cocktail. I don't know how we can do this better. Yes, I do. And let's move on to the next drink. Alrighty, so for my next version of an old fashioned, we're going to be starting off with a different rye. My favorite rye of all time is the Angel's Envy finished rye. It's actually a rye whiskey that is finished in a rum cask. So if you didn't watch our video on the differentiations between whiskey, we're going to put it right here. But if something's finished in a different type of cask, all that means is that the spirit, the rye in this case, is finished in used rum casks, which adds the flavor of the rum, which is usually a little bit sweeter, a little bit more of like brown sugar, maple type of flavors and aromas. So this is delicious, extremely smooth, and I'm very excited to try the old fashioned with this. So we're going to go ahead and start off with simple syrup this time. In this case, we're going to be using a 1/2 ounce. This is an Earl Grey simple syrup. And if you don't know how to make simple syrups, or if you don't know how to make an Earl Grey simple syrup, Links right here, YouTube Master, for our video on simple syrups. So we're gonna hit it with Angostura bitters once more. So you're gonna go ahead and hit it with 3 dashes of the Angostura bitters. The reason we're not doing 4 like the last one is that the tea adds its own tannic flavors, which are bitter by nature. Next, we're gonna go ahead and hit it with our rum cask finished rye, 2.5 ounces once more. We're gonna go ahead and peel a lemon. You wanna get it in 1 strip, and let's hit it with the oils from the lemon. Now we're gonna add some thyme-infused ice cubes. Let's give this a nice stir. Beautiful, let's go ahead and taste it. Oh, on the nose, just, oh wow. The scent of thyme, the lemon, it's almost like the flavor of lemon without all that acidity. It's beautiful. Oh wow. Front and center, as it should be, is the rum finished rye. Beautiful flavors of molasses, beautiful flavors of, imagine a caramel that's herb infused, the tiniest bit of a sweetness almost of lemon. Whew, that's really, really good. You get that nice, smoky, rich notes. This is, not to toot my own horn, but better than most old fashions. Please, please, please try this one out. So we're gonna be able to look back in time and look for a recipe that was made around the 1830s, and I'm gonna take my own twist on it, just like we always do. And that is our last drink. Let's get to it. All right, so on the table we have a bunch of different ingredients, but none of them are whiskey. And you might be wondering, how are we gonna make an old fashioned without the whiskey? So I don't usually go too much into history, but I thought this was very cool. As we said, in 1806, the word cocktail was pretty much first coined. And that led to, kind of like we do nowadays, a little bit of a revolution. So people started making liqueurs, syrups, adding fruit, etc. And it was really making things more complex, layered, and a little bit more fun. And around the 1860s, 1870s, it became more popular. If I'm not mistaken, in 1883, in Chicago, it was actually first coined the word old-fashioned, but drinks started getting too complex for a lot of the drinkers that wanted a simpler drink. And therefore, they started asking for things the old-fashioned way. So there we get to drink the old-fashioned. So pretty much the cocktail we're about to make is kind of like the spirit of a old-style drink that would have loads of flavor, but let's go ahead and get started on it. So just like the other drink, we're gonna go ahead and start off with sugar, and we're gonna do 1 heaping bar spoon of sugar. For this one, we're gonna use a little vial of some wild orange oil. And this is very, very strong stuff, so we're only gonna use 1 drop, and link in the description for how to get your hands on this oil and loads of other oils that are really good for you and loads of flavor. Use the muddler to mix that sugar and oil really, really well. This is another drink that requires a lot of love. Hit it with the spoon again to get the sides. And when you have almost a little bit like a paste, you should be doing good. Next, we're gonna hit it just like the old-fashioned with a little bit of water just to help mix everything together. Next, we're gonna use our absinthe, and we are going to hit it. Alrighty, next we're gonna use our absinthe, and we're gonna hit it with 1/2 of a bar spoon. I'm gonna go ahead and mix that in. We're gonna hit it with 1/2 ounce of some green chartreuse. Keep on mixing that. Next, we're gonna hit it with some gin, which would have been the spirit of choice. I'm gonna do 2 ounces of gin. It's not 2.5 because of the fact that we've been adding other spirits. There we are. That smells delicious. You get a twist of lemon. Just like with the other ones, get your match ready. Toss it in. Put out your match. Give that a little bit of a mix. You go ahead and grab some ice. There we go. You want as big of a piece as you can get your hands on. Alrighty, there we have it. My take on one of the old-timey cocktails. I'm not sure if you can see it. It has just the slightest of a green hue. The absinthe will also have the drink cloud up a little bit. Let's go ahead and try it out though. On the nose, ooh, wow, it smells delicious. You can definitely get the citrus from the orange as well as the lemon. The absinthe is a little bit in the background, but it's definitely noticeable. The gin, this gin is a little bit more on the vegetal side. It's Scottish gin. Let's go ahead and taste it. Wow, complex. You get a little bit of almost warmth from the absinthe. You get a little bit of that herbal notes from the green chartreuse. The citrus definitely lightens it up. This is the old-timey drink. As you saw, we didn't really add lime juice. We didn't shake it, so it's going to be very spirit-forward. Absolutely delicious. Wow, that's really good. Well, I hope you learned a thing or two. Today wasn't meant to be a history lesson, so sorry if it dragged on a little bit, but it's all just really cool stuff. Alcohol has its way in history, and the way our culture is also based a lot on what we're drinking. It's always great to see you. It's a pleasure to have you. I hope you learned a thing or two. I hope you try some drinks and you learn that you love some absinthe and gin, just like I learned today. But I hope to see you back in this corner of the world. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.